On a calm afternoon in April 2018, CCTV footage from Brazil captured a group of women standing together along a quiet street, unaware that danger was approaching. As a man walked past them, he suddenly stopped, pulled out a weapon, and began demanding money and valuables. The situation escalated quickly, creating a moment of fear and uncertainty for the group. What the suspect didn't realize was that one of the women was an off-duty police officer. She reacted immediately, taking control of the situation and overpowering the suspect before the robbery could continue. The incident ended swiftly, preventing injuries or further escalation. While this outcome was fortunate, experts stress that civilians should not attempt confrontation. The safest response during a robbery is to remain calm, comply with demands, avoid sudden movements, and prioritize personal safety. Staying aware of surroundings and remaining in groups can also reduce risk. In June 2022, a quiet moment inside a small store was disrupted when an armed intruder entered and threatened both an elderly customer and the shop owner. He forced them behind the counter, believing he had full control of the situation. Moments later, the store owner reacted, and the intruder fled the store immediately. Police were contacted, and no one was seriously harmed. Although the threat was stopped, security experts emphasize that sudden reactions involving weapons inside enclosed spaces can place everyone at risk, including customers and bystanders. Loud noises, panic, or accidental discharge can cause severe harm even when intentions are defensive. The safest approach during a robbery is to remain calm, avoid confrontation, and prioritize survival. Preventive measures such as protective barriers, panic buttons, controlled cash access, and visible surveillance systems are proven to reduce harm far more reliably than physical resistance. In June 2019, a man entered a store and robbed the cashier at gunpoint, taking cash before heading toward the exit. As he left, another customer entered, and the suspect attempted to rob him as well. During the chaos, the robber tried to hide the firearm inside his trousers. Under stress, the weapon discharged accidentally, injuring the suspect. He dropped the stolen money and fled the scene in pain, abruptly ending the robbery. The incident highlights how dangerous improper firearm handling can be, even for those committing crimes. Experts note that stress greatly increases the likelihood of accidental discharges. Firearm accidents frequently result in serious injuries or worse. Authorities emphasize that avoiding confrontation and reporting incidents from a safe distance is the best course of action for civilians. In July 2022, a woman walking along the street was targeted by a robber on a motorcycle who forcefully snatched her bag and attempted to escape. As the suspect struggled to start the motorcycle, the victim screamed for help. Her calls immediately drew attention from nearby shop owners and pedestrians who rushed toward the scene. Outnumbered and exposed, the robber abandoned the attempt and fled without the stolen property. The robbery failed. Experts note that visibility and public awareness can disrupt crimes in progress. However, they caution that group confrontations can quickly turn violent if emotions escalate. The safest approach remains staying in well-populated areas, securing belongings, and alerting authorities rather than physically confronting suspects. Community vigilance works best when paired with restraint and coordination. In December 2024 in Brazil, an off-duty officer was walking toward his car where a family member was waiting, when several individuals approached him and created a dangerous situation. Sensing immediate risk, the officer reacted decisively, causing the suspects to flee before anyone was injured. This incident reinforces the importance of staying alert in parking areas, especially during quiet hours. Drivers should scan their surroundings before entering or exiting vehicles, keep doors locked, and avoid lingering in isolated areas. If something feels wrong, returning to a public space or calling for help is often the safest option. For civilians, it's important to remember that not everyone has professional training, and resisting is not always advisable. Avoid confrontation whenever possible and prioritize escape and safety. Well-lit parking areas, security patrols, and situational awareness are key tools for preventing incidents like this. This CCTV footage from January 2016 shows two individuals entering a restaurant and attempting to intimidate staff and customers while demanding money and valuables. At first, the situation appears tense as people inside try to remain calm and avoid escalating the encounter. Unexpectedly, a customer who happened to be an off-duty police officer recognizes the threat and steps in, bringing the situation under control before anyone is hurt. While this incident ended safely, it highlights important safety lessons. During a robbery, civilians are advised to remain calm, avoid sudden movements, and follow instructions if necessary to protect themselves. Personal safety should always come before property. Restaurants and public spaces benefit from visible security cameras, panic buttons, and clear emergency procedures for staff. Once the situation is safe, authorities should be contacted immediately. Preparedness, awareness, and calm decision-making play a critical role in reducing harm during high-stress situations.
On a quiet afternoon in Mexico, a man enters a meat shop with his face covered and demands money from the employees. The workers remain composed as the situation unfolds, and the unexpected attention and resistance cause the intruder to flee before taking anything. This incident highlights essential safety principles for retail environments. Employees are trained to prioritize personal safety, remain calm, and follow store protocols during threatening situations. Sudden movements or confrontation can increase risk, so cooperation and awareness are often the safest responses. Stores can improve safety by installing surveillance cameras, maintaining clear visibility, and ensuring staff know emergency exit routes. After any such incident, contacting local authorities promptly is critical. Situations like this reinforce that safety should always come first, and that preparation and awareness can help prevent harm while protecting everyone involved.
This footage shows a man attempting to carjack two women at gunpoint. After forcing them out of the vehicle, he tried to drive away. Suddenly, another individual intervened and fired shots, immediately stopping the attacker and ending the threat. The victims were able to escape unharmed. Although the intervention prevented further harm, experts stress that gunfire in public spaces carries severe risks. Missed shots, ricochets, or mistaken targets can seriously injure innocent people nearby. For untrained civilians, authorities strongly advise avoiding armed confrontation whenever possible. If faced with a carjacking, the safest options are compliance, creating distance, and moving to a secure location before contacting law enforcement. Vehicles and belongings can be replaced. Lives cannot. In February 2020, a man parked his car and walked toward an ATM to withdraw cash when a robber suddenly approached and attempted an attack. Instead of complying, the victim reacted quickly and used martial arts training to break free and force the suspect to retreat. The robbery failed, and the attacker fled without taking anything. While this outcome ended without injury, experts strongly caution that physical resistance during robberies carries extreme risk, especially when weapons may be involved. Many confrontations escalate unpredictably and can lead to serious harm within seconds. Safety professionals emphasize that prevention is always safer than confrontation. Choosing well-lit ATMs, staying aware of surroundings, limiting distractions, and having an exit plan can significantly reduce danger.
One afternoon in August 2025, a worker was seated at his desk when two individuals dressed in black entered the store. Sensing something was off, the worker calmly tried to understand their intentions. Moments later, one of the individuals moved behind the desk and revealed a dangerous object, creating an immediate safety risk. Acting quickly, the worker focused on self-protection and prevented the situation from escalating while calling attention to the danger. Nearby co-workers noticed the disturbance and safely intervened, working together to control the situation without unnecessary harm. Authorities were contacted promptly and arrived to take over, ensuring everyone's safety. This incident highlights important safety lessons during robbery attempts. If confronted, remain calm, avoid panic, and prioritize personal safety over property. Alert others when possible, maintain awareness of escape routes, and contact authorities immediately. Workplaces should have clear safety protocols and encourage teamwork. Preparedness, awareness, and quick communication can make a critical difference in dangerous situations.
Instead of panicking, she stayed calm and acted quickly. She discreetly hid her phone inside her umbrella and closed it before the suspects reached her. When the men searched her and found nothing of value, they abandoned the attempt and rode away. The woman then moved quickly to a safer area. This incident highlights how awareness and composure can prevent loss without confrontation. Security experts stress that avoiding attention, concealing valuables, and staying alert to suspicious behavior are often safer than resistance. If you sense danger, create distance, move toward populated areas, and seek help immediately. Remaining calm and observant can significantly reduce risk during unexpected encounters.
In this video, a man is seen waiting calmly at the checkout section of a store before suddenly attempting to threaten the cashier and demand valuables. The situation could have escalated quickly, but it ended without serious harm. An off-duty law enforcement officer who was also in line recognized the danger, intervened promptly, and the suspect surrendered, bringing the incident to a safe conclusion. This moment highlights important safety precautions for anyone who may face a robbery situation. For employees, personal safety should always come first. Stay calm, avoid sudden movements, and follow workplace safety procedures, including cooperating when necessary and using silent alarms if available. Customers should keep their distance, remain aware of exits, and avoid confronting suspects directly. After any incident, authorities should be contacted immediately. Businesses can also reduce risks through proper lighting, surveillance cameras, and staff training. Overall, awareness, preparation, and calm decision-making play a major role in preventing harm during unexpected situations.
In August 2023, a man exited a supermarket with his wife and young son when two robbers on a motorcycle noticed the family and pulled over nearby. Their movements suggested an imminent robbery attempt. Sensing immediate danger, the man drew his legally owned firearm and fired toward the suspects, forcing them to flee instantly without taking anything. The family escaped unharmed, and the threat ended within seconds. While the outcome prevented a robbery, gunfire in public areas presents serious risks to bystanders, especially families and children. Authorities emphasize that even defensive gun use can lead to unintended injuries. Experts advise prioritizing situational awareness, maintaining distance from suspicious activity, and escaping to safe, populated areas whenever possible. Avoidance and early detection remain the safest strategies in public spaces.
On a quiet afternoon, a man was driving through an empty street when his path was suddenly blocked by another vehicle. An individual stepped out and demanded the car keys. Understanding the risk, the driver remained calm and complied, prioritizing his personal safety over property. The situation did not escalate further, and the vehicle was unable to be taken far. Authorities arrived soon after and recovered the car without incident. This situation serves as a reminder of key safety precautions during car-related robberies. If confronted, remain calm, avoid sudden movements, and follow instructions if necessary. Property can be replaced. Your life cannot. Drivers should keep doors locked, stay aware of surroundings, and avoid stopping in isolated areas when possible. If something feels unsafe, trust your instincts and contact emergency services immediately. Staying composed and alert can significantly reduce danger in high-stress situations.
In July 2022, a robber entered a pawn shop and demanded cash and valuables from the owner. The owner appeared compliant, handing over items while the suspect focused on the theft. Suddenly, the owner launched a counterattack, striking the robber and disarming him during a violent struggle. The suspect was overpowered, and the robbery ended on the spot. While the owner regained control, experts strongly warn that sudden resistance against armed criminals can provoke severe retaliation. Physical confrontations inside small shops place employees and customers at high risk. Security professionals emphasize prevention through controlled access points, surveillance cameras, barriers, and silent alarms. These measures reduce reliance on last-second physical resistance and provide safer outcomes during robbery attempts.
On the evening of August 2025 in Brazil, a man was standing alone on a quiet street when another individual approached him on a motorbike and demanded his valuables. Staying calm and prioritizing his safety, the man complied without resistance and handed over his belongings. What the thief did not realize was that the victim was an off-duty law enforcement officer. As the suspect prepared to leave, the officer safely intervened, bringing the situation to a controlled end and preventing further harm. This incident highlights important safety precautions for anyone confronted with a robbery. If approached, remain calm, avoid sudden movements, and do not argue or resist unless you are trained and it is absolutely necessary for your safety. Complying can reduce the risk of injury. Always stay aware of your surroundings, especially in quiet or poorly lit areas, and report incidents to authorities as soon as it is safe to do so. Personal awareness and calm decision-making can make a critical difference in dangerous situations.
In September 2022, a robbery attempt unfolded in slow-moving traffic when a thief tried to snatch a bag from a motorist's vehicle. A nearby biker witnessed the attempt and reacted immediately, riding directly toward the suspect and striking him. The impact forced the robber to abandon the stolen bag and flee. The biker pursued briefly, and nearby pedestrians joined in, surrounding and restraining the suspect until help arrived. The robbery was successfully stopped. While community action prevented the crime, safety professionals caution that direct physical intervention in traffic environments is highly unpredictable. Moving vehicles, panic, and crowd reactions can quickly escalate into serious injury. Experts advise that observation, clear communication, and contacting authorities are safer alternatives whenever possible, especially in congested public areas. In 2017, a robbery attempt at a perfume shop nearly succeeded when an individual demanded money from the cashier. During the tense moment, a customer intervened, helping stop the suspect before he could leave. While this action led to a positive outcome, experts emphasize that such responses are extremely risky for untrained civilians. This incident highlights an important safety message. Property can be replaced, but lives cannot. During a robbery, the safest choice for employees and customers is usually to stay calm, avoid resistance, and follow store safety protocols. Businesses should invest in alarms, surveillance systems, secure layouts, and staff training to reduce risks. After any threatening situation, authorities should be contacted immediately. Situations like this remind us that preparation, prevention, and professional response are the safest ways to protect people and property during criminal incidents. This video captures a store robbery that took an unexpected turn. In October 2019, a robbery unfolded inside a retail store when a man entered and demanded money from the cashier. As the cashier gathered cash, the intruder made a critical mistake by placing his weapon on the counter while focusing on the register. Seeing an opportunity, the cashier acted quickly and used the moment to protect himself, causing the robber to panic and flee the store. The suspect briefly returned in confusion, but left again without taking anything further, and authorities were later notified. While the robbery ended without injury, experts strongly warn that handling weapons during moments of high stress is extremely dangerous. Sudden movements, accidental discharge, or panic reactions can turn a survivable situation into a tragic one. Safety professionals consistently advise compliance when threatened, using silent alarms where available, and relying on security systems, surveillance cameras, and rapid police response rather than personal confrontation. In November 2021 on Cannon Street in the United Kingdom, a disguised robber entered a store armed and attempted to intimidate the cashier. When the robbery did not go as planned, frustration took over, and the suspect became aggressive. In a moment of chaos, the cashier reacted defensively, pushing a nearby product rack toward the attacker. The disruption forced the robber to retreat and flee the store. Although the incident ended without serious injury, experts strongly caution against physical resistance during armed robberies. Confrontations greatly increase the risk of harm. Law enforcement recommends compliance, de-escalation, and reliance on security measures such as cameras, protective barriers, panic buttons, and rapid police response to protect lives.
Two men on a motorbike were stopped at a red traffic light when two strangers suddenly approached them. One person held the bike to prevent movement, while the other demanded the keys. Faced with an unexpected threat, the riders remained still and avoided sudden reactions, reducing the risk of escalation. Unknown to the suspects, an off-duty law enforcement officer was nearby and noticed the situation unfolding. At the right moment, he safely intervened, bringing the incident under control and ending the attempted robbery without harm to the victims. This situation highlights key safety precautions during a robbery. If confronted, prioritize your personal safety over property. Stay calm, avoid arguing, and comply if necessary. Keep your hands visible and watch for opportunities to move to safety only when it is safe to do so. At traffic stops, stay alert, leave space around your vehicle when possible, and report suspicious behavior immediately. Awareness and calm decision-making can significantly reduce danger. On a quiet afternoon, a man approaches a motorbike parked along the road and carefully looks around to see if anyone is nearby. Believing the area is clear, he attempts to take the bike. However, the owner quickly notices what is happening and moves toward the scene, causing the would-be thief to abandon the attempt. This situation serves as an important reminder about protecting personal property in public spaces. Motorbike owners are encouraged to use steering locks, alarms, or secure parking areas whenever possible. Parking in visible, high-traffic locations can also discourage theft. If you notice suspicious activity, it is safest to keep distance and alert authorities rather than confront someone directly. Staying observant of your surroundings and acting quickly, but calmly, can help prevent losses without putting yourself at risk. Ultimately, preparedness and awareness are key factors in reducing everyday theft incidents.
In November 2019, intruders broke into a home believing it was unoccupied. They were mistaken. The homeowner reacted quickly, and the intruders fled almost immediately, abandoning the break-in attempt. The incident ended without further confrontation, and authorities were notified soon after. Although the response stopped the intrusion, experts emphasize that reacting under stress inside a home carries serious risks. Confusion, misidentification, and unintended harm can occur within seconds. For most homeowners, prevention is the safest strategy. Security lighting, alarm systems, reinforced doors, surveillance cameras, and secure rooms significantly reduce danger. If a break-in occurs, finding a safe location, avoiding confrontation, and contacting emergency services is strongly recommended. Property loss is temporary, but personal safety is permanent. Proper planning and layered security provide far more reliable protection than split-second reactions during a crisis. In April 2020, a group of robbers targeted people waiting at a bus stop, stealing valuables during a sudden attack. As one of the robbers attempted to flee, he unexpectedly collapsed due to a medical emergency. His accomplices immediately abandoned everything they had taken and rushed to help him before fleeing the scene. The robbery ended without further harm, showing how quickly criminal situations can unravel in unexpected ways. While this outcome involved no confrontation, it reinforces an important lesson. Crime often carries consequences that no one can predict. For personal safety, experts advise staying alert in public areas, avoiding isolated locations when possible, traveling in groups, and keeping valuables discreet. If a robbery occurs, compliance and awareness are safer than resistance. Quick reporting to authorities helps prevent future incidents and keeps communities safer. In 2014 in the United States, a group of intruders targeted the home of a military veteran, believing it would be an easy crime. Instead, the homeowner was alert and prepared, and the intruders quickly fled after realizing the situation was no longer in their favor. The incident ended without further escalation, and authorities were alerted. While training and experience played a role in this outcome, home invasion scenarios are among the most dangerous and unpredictable situations anyone can face. Law enforcement professionals consistently advise civilians to avoid direct confrontation whenever possible. Securing doors and windows, installing alarm systems, using safe rooms, and contacting emergency services are far safer and more reliable methods of protection. In any robbery situation, survival and personal safety should always come before property or confrontation. On February 2021, in Nairobi, Kenya, a robber entered a store and pointed what appeared to be a firearm directly at the owner, demanding compliance. For a moment, the threat seemed real and dangerous. Shortly after, the owner realized the weapon was not genuine. Sensing the shift in confidence, the robber panicked and attempted to flee. The owner chased him out, stopping the robbery before anything was taken. Although this incident ended without injury, experts strongly warn against testing whether a weapon is real or fake. Mistakes in judgment can be fatal, especially under stress. Law enforcement advises full compliance during robbery attempts, avoiding pursuit, and prioritizing survival. Preventive measures such as security cameras, panic buttons, barriers, and rapid police response are far safer than confrontation. Property is replaceable, but lives are not, and safety should always be the top priority. Late at night on a quiet street, a white car sat parked when an SUV suddenly sped in and blocked its path. Within seconds, 3 men exited the SUV and began demanding money and valuables from the occupants of the car. The unexpected ambush created a high-risk situation with little time to react. Unknown to the attackers, one of the people inside the white car was an off-duty police officer. Acting quickly and decisively, he responded in a way that caused the suspects to panic and flee the scene, stopping the robbery attempt before it could escalate further. While this incident ended without harm, safety professionals advise drivers to remain inside their vehicles when confronted, keep doors locked, avoid confrontation, and call emergency services immediately if possible. Parking in well-lit areas, staying alert at night, and trusting your instincts are key steps in reducing the risk of car-related crimes. A superstore robbery took an unexpected turn the moment the intruder tried to control the room. The armed man began turning toward nearby customers, likely attempting to intimidate everyone inside. What he didn't notice was another customer standing quietly behind him, wearing a hat and observing the situation closely. In a split second, the customer acted, tackling the suspect from behind and forcing him to drop the weapon. The attacker was pinned to the ground until other shoppers and staff rushed in to help restrain him and prevent further danger. While this quick reaction stopped the robbery, safety experts strongly caution against civilian intervention. Armed situations are unpredictable, and even brief struggles can lead to severe injury. The safest approach during a robbery is to remain calm, comply with instructions, avoid sudden movements, and prioritize survival. Security measures and police response are far safer than heroics. 2 military personnel were standing along a roadside when a suspicious vehicle suddenly pulled up beside them. A man stepped out, clearly expecting fear and immediate compliance. Instead, one of the men remained calm, alert, and prepared. His confident response disrupted the attacker's plan, forcing the robber to retreat and flee without taking anything. While the robbery attempt failed, this situation highlights an important reality. Trained individuals respond differently under pressure than civilians. For the general public, confronting an armed robber is extremely risky. Weapons can discharge accidentally, accomplices may appear, and situations can turn deadly within seconds. Safety experts strongly recommend avoiding resistance, staying composed, handing over valuables if demanded, and focusing on survival. Awareness, distance, and quick reporting to authorities remain the safest strategies in unexpected encounters like this. At a fuel station in Brazil, a man was confronted by individuals attempting to take his vehicle. The encounter escalated quickly as the suspects moved closer, creating a dangerous and unpredictable situation. In an effort to protect himself, the man reacted in a way that startled the attackers, causing them to retreat and abandon the attempt. Although the incident ended without injury, Experts caution that fuel stations are extremely high-risk environments. Flammable materials, moving vehicles, and confined spaces mean even small actions can lead to severe consequences. Safety professionals advise remaining inside your vehicle when possible, keeping doors locked, staying alert to approaching vehicles, and leaving the area if something feels wrong. Avoid confrontation whenever possible and seek populated or well-lit areas where help can be accessed quickly. A group of women were chatting along a public street walkway when two men on a motorcycle suddenly approached and began intimidating them, attempting to rob them in broad daylight. The situation quickly drew attention as nearby locals noticed something was wrong. Within seconds, people moved toward the scene, making it clear the suspects were exposed and outnumbered. Realizing they no longer had control, the men abandoned the attempt and fled without taking anything. While community awareness helped stop this incident, experts caution that crowd confrontations can quickly turn dangerous. Sudden movements, panic, or weapons can escalate situations unexpectedly. Safety professionals recommend staying alert in public spaces, avoiding isolated areas, moving in groups when possible, and creating distance instead of engaging. If threatened, seek well-lit areas, attract attention verbally if safe, and contact authorities immediately. Property can be replaced, but personal safety should always come first.